but never falls. It groans under ancient weight and molten brawls, forged by giants who lifted stars for sport. Its halls echo with rage that never went to court. Now silent titans sleep beneath its crust, their bones made of iron, their legacy rust. Still it waits, cracked and steaming, for someone strong enough to wake the screaming. Name, where whispers crawl like hands through flame. Old monks sealed it, but not enough. The goon pulls strong and the ground stays rough. Abyss ain't loud, it's slow and cruel. Wraps around pride, turns wisdom to fuel. A place where the weak go to vanish, and even the brave return half banished. Still stands, once proud towers now choked in sands. Goonhole fell without a fight, not to war but the rot of spite. Scrolls say legends lived here once, 3 names carved deep in a broken font. Now moss grows where steel once clashed, and ghosts chant songs from a time that passed. At center of the realm it waits, the keep of kings, sealed by fate. No ruler sits its throne aflame, only dust and a cursed name. Shrimp still bricks, forged in war, hold tight behind the armored door. Only when the flames align will the gate admit the worthy spine.
space, landed hard in the center of a ruined place. Shrimpfire keeps silence scorched alive. Its halls lit up as if they've been waiting to revive. The throne stood untouched, glowing faint red, built for a king the world thought dead. He stood up slow, blade in hand, took his first step toward the throne's command. Like a meteor slam, cracked stone and lava with a flex and a jam. He rose through fire, skin lit by flame. This mountain felt different, but the rage was the same. Ash in the air, magma on his back. He looked to the summit and started his track. No map, no guide, no allies to find, just him and the fire, fists alive.
Caleb burned his eyes in the ruins of stone. Goon holds shattered, broken, overgrown. Vines climbed towers where flags used to wave. Now it felt more like a forgotten grave. He stepped through dust with a quiet tread. Every breath pulled memories from the dead. He didn't speak, he didn't fear. He just walked the halls, sensing fate was near.
Shrimpfire stirred as the boys touched ground. A force like thunder rolled through the realm's crown. And Shrimpfire keep runes began to glow, as if the keep itself had begun to know. Atop Mount Boaks by the lava ran high, molten rivers twisting under a blood-red sky. And Goonhold cracks spread across old stone, ancient scripts shifting in a voice unknown. The sea of beef boiled out of control. The mean lords paused, feeling fear in their soul. The mean plains glitched and screamed with static. Even the frosty cube grew erratic. No one saw them fall, but everything shook. The world knew legends had entered the book. Each boy alone in a place meant for trial, unaware the others had landed within 100 miles. But their arrival was just the first beat in a storm. The prophecy had moved and taken form. Deeper where the heat pulsed strong, past doors sealed tight for far too long. He found the blade chamber, lights burning bright, and felt the shrimp steel tremble in the light. He grabbed the hill like he always had, but the blade was heavier, like he remembered bad.
Might climb the rocks with hands still raw, shoving boulders aside like breaking law. The mountain fought him with every step. Steam bursts, quakes, anything it kept, but he pressed on. No rest, no cry, just him and that summit, eye to eye.
Reached the altar at Goonhold's core, laid his hand on the stones once more. Power surged, not loud but deep, a pulse in the floor like something to sleep. He didn't smile, he didn't kneel, he just stood there calm and let the ruins feel.
the hood low, stepped in the storm. No heat on my face, but the blood still warm. Ground made of skulls, air thick with flex. Whole zone, looking like a protein hex. No blade, no squad, just breath and spine. Walk through hell with a monk state mind. Every meat lord watching like, who's this freak? I ain't need to talk, my silence speak. They sitting on thrones made of bench press bars, flexing fake rage, all trying to spar. One stood up, 7 feet of beef, swears brain smaller than my front teeth. I ain't blink, just drop that scroll. Glowed like the sun, burned like coal. Peace on paper, war in the eyes. They read it twice, like who let this wild? No kneeling, no fear, no bowing low. Drop calm like a bomb, they ain't even know. Terms tight, no tricks, no favors. Just a short break from the meat crusaders. Gave him time to breathe, not rest. I'm here for the boys, not to impress. Said nothing, but I meant it clear. You cross this line, the blade appears. They walk in packs, they lift in fear. Thinking pain's power and volume clears. But rage ain't wise, it just burns fast. While I sip tea and let centuries pass. They got fire, I got flame control. They got steel, I got soul. One wrong move, I flip the vibe. Turn a room full of war in a hush or die. I ain't playing peace, I am the threat. Monk mode, savage, bet they won't forget. Big boy move, try to read my face. But all he saw was empty space. He gripped that scroll like he break the pack. But his hand shook once and that's a fact. Said nothing, just stared through his mask. He knew I ain't here for games or tasks. He gave that nod like we ain't done. And I turned like the match already won. Walk back out with the truce in place. Got a whole damn army scared of grace. They'll break it soon, I know the math. But we only need one clean path. Goon hole ruins still smell like war. But I bought time the voice can't ignore. And if the deal dies, so be it. They swing, high end, careers ain't quiet. Shattered stone, breathe slow till the storm's all gone. No trophy, no crown, no chant, no win. But I held the line with peace and skin. Ray's got flame, Mike's got weight. I got patience, I move with fate. When the meat lords raise that flag again, I'll be ready to break it with the back of a pen.
got near. Bulk spiraled with every stride, but Mike kept pushing with side and side. Muscle and grit in a world of ash, a living wrecking ball on a summit bash. No words, no doubts, no looking back, just stone getting humbled with every crack. The heat screamed stop, the wind said turn, but Mike fed pressure to the fire that burned. He wasn't just climbing to prove some might, he was born to break what stood in his life. Summit breaker, the mountain bowed slow, ash in the sky and a god below. No shield, no sword, just fury and bone, one man ripping through rock and stone. Summit breaker, the clouds split wide, a sigil lit up the mountainside. Where others fall, he built a throne and claimed that peak as his own. At the top, a beast of flame, unchained, 10 feet tall with a voice like pain. It roared like thunder, tried to scare, but Mike just cracked his neck mid-stare. They clashed like titans, blow for blow, steel on flesh in a molten glow. And when the beast dropped, the silence rang. Mike stood tall while the summit sang. Summit breaker, the legend spreads, climbing through fire, dancing with death. He fought the peak, he claimed the prize, a storm and flesh beneath neon skies. Summit breaker, the signal burned bright from Goonhold ruins to keep up light. Where the boys once stood alone, now the climb lit the path back home. Shrimpfire turned when the sigil flared. Caleb looked up, Ray just stared. Three lands shook with a single glow. The mountain answered, the boys would know. Summit breaker, the mountains in, but the war begins when a pig's bent. He walked through heat, now the sky makes room for the man who climbed through the world's own tomb. Summit breaker, born in strife, built from rage and gamer's life. Where others break, he carves a stone and leaves the climb etched in bone. The pact was signed a monk-born code, but meat lords to walk no honor road. They tore the scroll and cracked the vow, said shrimp or steel, we taking it now. Caleb saw the war drums start, but couldn't reach Ray in time to chart. And from the south came 90 strong, their chants were cruel, their blades were long. Shrimpfire keep stood proud and high, with banners burning in the sky. Ray on throne with a drink in hand, looked down and said, you must understand, no horns, no fear, no call to arms, just one man standing calm in storms. The walls were cracked, the doors not sealed, but Ray stepped down to the courtyard field. 10 came first, with axes drawn. He moved so fast they blinked and gone. Elbows breaking, necks got snapped. Joe's rule just turned to ash, and Ray lit up his throne with flash. He ain't speak, just raise his cup and whisper low, come clean this up.
back like a welcome mat. The keep was cracked but wouldn't fall. Ray lit flames in every hall. No lords left, no armies near, just whispers of shrimp and ancient fear. He sat on stone that burned like pride, and Shrimpfire bowed to the flame inside. The keep now bore his name and screams, King Ray, Lord of Shrimp, drenched dreams. Far from fire, oaks by climb, still echoing from Mike's grind. He crushed the beast, climbed through ash and left that summit in a molten splash. Now banners fly on iron wings. Big Mike rules where the barbell sings. He forged the gems with molten steel. Benches set where titans kneel. Citizens built like tanks and squads, and Mike just nodded, trained like gods. His crown was flame, his throne was pain. A boat-born king with no restraint. Goonholes stay quite far below. Caleb walk where the shadows grow. No guards left at the castle gate. The meat lord's gone, consumed by fate. He stepped inside the halls of red, where every meat king once had bled. No blade in hand, just breath and thought. Move like silence that kingdoms fought. Past the halls of steak and gore, and open slow the throne room door. The meat king sat, a bloated wreck. Caleb moved once and snapped his neck. Not a word, not a sound, not a scream, just Caleb sitting like a monk-born dream. The throne turned cold, the walls drew dark, the meat itself bent to his mark. Now Goonhole balls without a sound, a silent king with a deadly crown. Three kingdoms, three thrones set, not allies, not foes, but threat to threat. Each ruled by fire, stone, and shade, by men who rose from war and blade. No banners flown, no peace declared, but the whole damn map was officially scared. Ray kept flames lit every night, trained new guards with savage might. Shrimp steel armor, shrimp fed steel, a crimson army at his heel. No invader touched his gate, they heard the tale, they knew their fate. Mike built towers, forged new roads, turned deadlifts into sacred oaths. He made the weak lands bow and form, and reshaped storms into the norm. Bolts by boom, each clang divine. He ruled with rage and protein spine. Caleb ruled but rarely seen, moved through shadows, slick and lean. Meat lord spies just vanished fast, and whispers said he sees your past. No army march, no banners wave, just kings and ghosts beneath his gaze. Three realms rise, but peace won't hold. The land still trembles, the future cold. Old powers stir, new threats breathe, but the boys now rule what's underneath. And should the world forget their names, it'll learn again in shrimp, blood, and flames.